Jane Thiongo is a passionate leader with over 15 years of experience in the social enterprise sector. Our work centers on helping people and communities thrive through entrepreneurship. By partnering with NGOs and mainstream businesses, she designs and implements practical, sustainable solutions that create lasting, meaningful change. As a coach and trainer who believes entrepreneurship is a powerful tool for transformation, please welcome our Fireside moderator, Jane Thiongo.
Right, Jane, thank you very much for moderating this. So over to you.
Oh, and thank you so much for that very colorful intro. Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me. My name is Jane Thiongo, and I am joining you from Zambia. I'm the current chairperson of Social Enterprise Zambia, which is a brand new network. And since we are all talking about networks, this is really, really interesting. It's a brand new network that's just been we've just registered in Zambia to bring together social enterprises and try as much as we can to see whether we can make social entrepreneurship work in Zambia, see whether we can use our strength as a network to possibly influence policy in Zambia so that our network and our business grows. I've heard a lot about networks today, which is really interesting. Tizita from Ethiopia, you said that it took you 8 years to actually build trust, which is scary. Yeah, I wonder how long it took you, Chris. So as a way of introducing yourself, Chris, maybe tell us a little bit about Social Enterprise UK and tell us how long, if you know, it took to actually build trust and start creating the network.
Thank you very much, Jane. Thank you very much, first of all, to having me here. It's great to be here, and there's been so many great speakers, so I hope I can live up to some of the ones that have gone before me. I'm Chris, I'm the membership manager at Social Enterprise UK, so working with all our members. Social Enterprise UK is the voice for social enterprise in the UK, and it leads the largest network of social enterprises in the country. We have about 3,500 members. And we do a lot of work with policy, as Jane sort of alluded to there. We've been going now for over 20 years. It's been a long journey. I think it's very interesting, Jane, when you ask sort of about building trust and stuff. We've been able to gather a lot of research, a lot of data, and a lot of evidence on the impact social enterprises have been having. We're the largest data repository on social enterprises. So throughout this 20 years, we're constantly collecting and evaluating data on how the social enterprise sector is performing in the UK. And that helps build the trust when we then go and talk to policymakers and other social enterprises, other business leaders, to really sort of highlight why this sector is really important, why it matters, and sort of help building trust. In terms of, timings of building relationships, some governments are very receptive to the idea of working with social enterprises. Others you have to work a lot harder with to get that message across. So it's hard to sort of give you an accurate time frame, but yeah, been around for about 20 years, and we've always been sort of seen as the authority because we've been able to build that data but set out on social enterprise.
Okay. Would you say that the first few years were difficult? Were they easier? Which years have been easier?
So to give you a bit of more of the history, I think the social enterprise, when it was started as a social enterprise coalition in 2002, we had quite a lot of government support. There was a new Labour government here in the UK. There was quite a lot of interest in social enterprise, and it was seen as a really good solution to some of the public service needs, some of the opportunities involved around that. Moving forward, some of that government support maybe disappeared because the priorities changed. So we've shifted our model, obviously, become more of a membership organisation from about 2010 onwards, where there was a change in UK government. So those would probably be the sort of harder years to sort of categorise, that sort of rebuilding trust with new governments. Those first few years of the Conservative-led coalition government we had in the UK, sort of rebuilding trust with them as they maybe didn't see the value in social enterprise the same way as the government that predecessed them saw it.
Oh, okay. So would you say that maybe with government changing, then as priorities change, then maybe support also kind of shifts.
Yeah, and it's important when we sort of talk about, gathering the evidence of social enterprise and the impact the sector has, is to sort of, we have to go back and readapt that and shape it to what the government's priorities are, what the government's talking about, to rebuild that trust. As you mentioned, we've done that again, recently. We've had a change of government in the UK last year. We've now got a government that's very focused on economic growth. So we've got, we're gathering data on how social enterprises can contribute to economic growth that benefits their local communities, creates job opportunities for people, which is all part of the government's mission, and how this can feed in. So again, it's about rebuilding that relationship and rebuilding that trust. So yeah, government change always plays a big part.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I'm glad I'm not doing it on my own, definitely.
Okay. So, what advice would you give to us, or any country trying to build a network like us? We are newly registered organization in trying to build that trust.
So I'm trying to build that trust. I mean, first of all, I think the data collection side is really important. So having that sort of key evidence base is vital. Like I said, in the UK, we run something called the State of Social Enterprise Survey, which we publish every 2 years. This is the largest survey on the social enterprise sector in the UK. It highlights the impact, the challenges it's facing, the benefits it brings to communities, to societies, and also where the sort of issues are, where the policy support is sort of failing the sector as a whole and not enabling it to have that growth. By doing that, we're able to then sort of compare it to how traditional businesses use. We match it with a lot of the sort of government's own data. The government does a lot of own research into sort of small, medium enterprises and how they perform. We're able to match how the social enterprise sector is performing. So we've got really good insight into how social enterprises are, I can say it on this call, right, better than traditional businesses, and deliver more sustainable impact and economic growth for that benefit the communities rather than just private shareholders. So by doing that, we're able to really make the business case for why social enterprise matters. And again, like I said, you need to fit that into what the government's priorities are, what the narratives around the government priorities, policies, and sort of fit those in. So I mentioned the economic growth one. Another one, during the Conservative government during 2010 to sort of 2024, especially in those early years of Conservative government, there's a lot of talk about the big society and sort of in the UK and how businesses should take more responsibility for the social and environmental impact. So we played a big part highlighting how social enterprises could actually fill that gap, how they could play their role because of the data we had, because we were able to shape that sort of conversation around that. And when you do that, you then, so just give you a bit of advice, and again, advice sort of varies, right? Every environment's really different. I can't tell you exactly what will work in each different country, but what sort of has worked then for us is sort of starting building those key relationships with different stakeholders who have maybe a bit of buy-in. For example, in the 2010s, we had a buy-in from a local Conservative MP who had social enterprise experience, understood the sector, and really helped us then having that influence on a policy level. And there's a lot of scope there to sort of help them get a bit more involved, bring them on site visits to social enterprises, help them see and visualize, what the impact social enterprises can have across different sectors, different social and environmental issues and challenges facing the government, and how working with the sector can really help them. I think bringing that to life is so important, not just having the data set, but those live case studies to really help understand that. And I think, the other thing I'd say on this, Jane, is that it's hard, and, you can put in a lot of work to, engage a local, member of parliament or a minister, and then they move and they change jobs, right? That's how the government works in every country. They either leave or they move on, or they go and do something else. So you can feel like all that time's wasted. I think what's really important is, we're talking about networks. If you build a sort of thriving social enterprise network, even if, social entrepreneurs are incredibly resilient and they will thrive regardless of the sort of environment they operate in. We've heard some great stories here today about what the incredible social enterprises are doing, even when, there's times of funding cuts. Social enterprises can always achieve great things regardless of the situation around them.
Yeah, I think social enterprises are quite resilient. Most people here have talked about that, and as also someone who runs a social enterprise, I know.
I know I'm preaching to the converted here, but I think it's a point worth emphasizing. And just to give it a bit of data to back it up, actually, I think, during the COVID-19 pandemic in the UK, when there was not a lot of support out there for social enterprises, we saw consistently that compared to other forms of businesses, social enterprises were increasing their turnover, launching new services to help people who were in need as a result of the pandemic. And as a result, also, at a time when other businesses were letting people go, social enterprises were taking people on and giving new job opportunities for communities in need. So that resilience, it's not just, us saying it, it's fact. We've proved that through our State of Social Enterprise surveys.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Chris. Now, we've heard about the government level about building relationship with key stakeholders. Now, if we come to the membership side, when we have a new body like, let's say, Social Enterprise Zambia, or when you were starting Social Enterprise UK, how did you build the membership? What are the things you did well?
So, it's a bit hard. Obviously, I wasn't around 20 years ago when Social Enterprise UK started. So, but I can talk a little bit about sort of building local networks and stuff. So with Social Enterprise UK, it was formed as the Social Enterprise Coalition. So it was from its nature a coalition of different social enterprise stakeholders. And there was, as I said, a bit of government engagement at the beginning as well to get it off and running.
Okay.
I think, when you're building any network, again, I hate to sort of repeat myself here, but it's worth doing. There is a need to look. Well, first of all, there's a need to look at what is being done elsewhere. So, what are the success stories about building networks? You can come and talk to Social Enterprise UK, who've done a lot of work around sort of expanding their membership offer, designing opportunities for social enterprises involved in that. You can come and look at how we've done it on a local level as well through our Social Enterprise Places program, which has been going for about 10, 15 years now, which is looking at developing those local social enterprise networks. But then you also have to look at what, again, what's the data telling you? What's the evidence saying? What's the number of social enterprises operating? What's the number of social enterprises? What are the challenges they're facing? Is it funding? Is it opportunity to access new markets? And you can design solutions with those potential member organizations, unless they're members already, and work with them to sort of co-create a few solutions to that, and always help sort of redesign and reshape that, and constantly evaluate whether they're getting what they expected out of that sort of membership as well.
Okay. In what ways, do you evaluate whether those social enterprises are getting value from the membership?
So it's a few things. So we offer the three main areas of our membership, I'd say. So one is looking at the sort of network itself. So we try and make sure that all our members have access to our network, which we do through an online portal. We do in-person events, that sort of thing, to help them engage. So we'll review what the numbers are showing. Are they engaging with the different types of content we're putting out? Are they engaging with our webinars? Are they coming to our events? That sort of thing. If they're not, why not? Are our webinars not relevant to those social enterprises? With that as well, obviously, we have 3,500 members.
Mm-hmm.
There's different audiences within that they might not. It's no one size fits all approach. You have to identify what the different audiences want from the different opportunities. So we do regular reviewing on sort of engagement figures through the members area, and then we can design new engagement strategies as a result of that. So again, I know I'm saying data a lot and data and evidence a lot here, Jane, but it is really important. The other area where we do a lot of work is sort of trying to create opportunities for social enterprises to access new markets. At Social Enterprise UK, we launched something called the Biosocial Corporate Challenge about 9-10 years ago now, 2016, which started with 7 corporate partners. So basically there was a challenge, social enterprises are trading businesses. They want to trade with other businesses and get their products and services into those businesses' supply chains. But what's the mechanisms to actually support them to do that? Well, before the Biosocial Corporate Challenge, not really. The Biosocial Corporate Challenge was set up in order to encourage big businesses to buy directly from social enterprises. So we started with 7. We now have over 30 big businesses signed up, and they represent all different sectors. And again, we look at that to make sure we're creating those opportunities for social enterprises to access those sort of new different types of markets as well. And we're evaluating the process with, how that program is working to benefit the sector as a whole. Is it increasing spend with social enterprises? Are there sort of challenges facing social enterprises still when they're trying to get into those corporate markets? How can we improve that service as well?
Oh,
Sorry, I've got a bit of
okay. Well, I'm saying that sounds really interesting.
It's gone really well. It's really good. What you then also see is more people wanting to take part, not just from the social enterprise point of view. Obviously, they want to then have options, and you can grow the network because you've got such a good offer. But also, you see more buy-in from other businesses who go, well, hang on, if X is doing this, we should also be doing this. They're a rival competitor. We need to be seen to be doing just as good on them on the social enterprise front as well. So it helps sort of grow the network that way as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So what I've heard so far, Chris, and it's very, very useful, is that everything has to be data driven, which is very, very important. That's one of the key things I've taken away from this.
Yeah.
Building membership, like success stories. You look at what the data is telling you. You look at the network and how the members are accessing the online portal, which should be interesting. You review what members are accessing. You review the kind of events that they are coming to. If they're not coming to the webinars, why not?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. So, if for someone watching this, and also again, I'm coming here selfishly as a social.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. If someone is watching this and trying to grow their network like we are in our local area now, like in Zambia, what simple advice would you give us to keep our people engaged and the momentum going as we are starting up?
I think one of the important things is and I know again when we talk about networks it seems so obvious, but don't do it on your own. Include the members in the decision making. Your network will have lots of different skills as well. So there might be some skilled people there talking about marketing. There might be ones who sort of can talk about the corporate supply chain a lot more than say I can. There's lots of different expertise within the network. So making sure they feel included and can help shape that program. So sort of people or a member focused approach, I think, is really important. And that goes, that sort of linked to the data, but it's also about listening to people as well, Jane. So understanding what those needs are is really vital. And then I think also it's the need to engage with a wide group of stakeholders. It's very easy to obviously focus very much on social enterprises, but what other actors are active in your local sector? For example, in the UK, we have lots of universities who want to support social enterprises grow and develop and throughout their whole sort of business journey from the sort of startup growth accelerating phase as well. So we work with universities to help get that word out. We've talked about local government, central government, but also with local government who might want to promote social enterprise networks within their local area. What can we do to sort of help them understand social enterprise as a concept, facilitate and help them facilitate that growth, and as a result help us grow the membership in the long run as well. So hopefully that sort of answers the question a little bit there, Jane.
It does. Thank you so much, Chris.